What's up, everyone? Justin here, back with a part 2 of my fantasy booking for the Bayley and Sasha Banks break up. You know it's coming, and I love both of these women. I'm a big fan of Bayley, a little bit more right now than Sasha, but I love Sasha. I believe the first ever women's wrestler shirt I ever purchased was this right here, Sasha Banks shirt, legit boss at the bottom. So I believe this was the first one, or the NXT Asuka one that says on the back Empress of Tomorrow. But anyways, I will say about 2 to 3 years ago, I was a bigger fan of Sasha than Bayley. Sasha was actually my number one favorite wrestler, like 2 to 3 years ago, but Asuka replaced her. Anyways, this is my part 2, final part of my fantasy booking of the Bayley-Sasha breakup. So part 2 starts off with Survivor Series 2020 pay-per-view. Bayley has to defend the SmackDown Women's title against Sasha. So Bayley's defending against Sasha. Survivor Series. It's I Quit. It's a I Quit match. And it's hard hitting. It is brutal. And it goes on for about 15 minutes. And then Bayley just has had enough. She will not quit. She has not quit, but Bayley has enough. It goes on for 15 minutes. Bayley yells. Just yells. F this. F this, and leaves. Leaves the match. They show her backstage. Sasha is like shocked in the ring, and Sasha tries to go after Bayley, but Bayley backstage gets in her car and takes off and leaves and escapes, still SmackDown Women's Champion. After I Quit, there was no winner. Bayley had enough and just said, F this. I'm gone. I'm leaving. And she left in her car, and the camera followed her leaving. And Sasha was in the parking lot and tried to chase the car down, but it was gone. So that was Survivor Series I Quit. Went on for 15 minutes, and that was a finish I came up with. Bayley had enough and just yelled, F this, and left the match, left the arena, still the champion. So now let's skip to, I'm not going to do any SmackDown episodes up until TLC. I didn't fantasy book any, but I did fantasy book TLC with Sasha and Bayley. TLC 2020 pay-per-view. So it's a tag team matchup at TLC. It's a tag team match where Bayley teams up with her former Four Horsewomen buddy, member, even though they were never really together. The Four Horsewomen of WWE have never been together as a group on TV. Never attacked other women or anything. But anyways, Charlotte and Bayley team up at TLC to take on Sasha Banks and her partner Asuka. Sasha and Asuka against Bayley and Charlotte. Bayley does not want any part of Sasha. Bayley does not even get in the ring. Doesn't even get tagged in. Does not want to get tagged in. Refuses to tag in Charlotte to help her. So Bayley just never gets in the ring with Sasha at TLC. Sasha and Asuka win the tag match. Bayley walks out on Charlotte. So now, after TLC, let's go to the Royal Rumble 2020. Yeah, Royal Rumble 2020. Up first, I booked a SmackDown Women's Championship matchup. Bayley at the Royal Rumble 2021. I might have said Royal Rumble 2020. I meant Royal Rumble 21. So, the Royal Rumble, Bayley is defending her SmackDown Women's title. She's one of the longest reigning SmackDown Women's champions of all time, and her record goes into 2021. She's still the champ. So it's like probably 500 days by now at the Rumble. I don't know, or over 450 days. But right now it's at like over 320. 320 days she's been the SmackDown Women's Champion, and we're only in the end of August. So I'm talking about real life. If she holds on to it till WrestleMania, that will be like maybe, I don't know, close to like 600 days maybe, or 5 something, I don't know. So, at the Royal Rumble, Bayley will defend the SmackDown Women's title in a 6-pack challenge against Naomi, Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan. I put Liv Morgan on SmackDown. She was drafted to SmackDown in the draft. And Ruby Riott was drafted to SmackDown also. So it's Bayley defending against Naomi, Nikki Cross, Liv Morgan, Ruby Riott. So yeah, that's 6 women. Bayley wins and retains in the 6-pack challenge at the Royal Rumble 2021. Now let's go to the women's Royal Rumble matchup. I'm not going to give you a name of every woman I would put in the Rumble 2021. I will do a fantasy booking for the Royal Rumble 2021 when before the event happens, like a month before. I'll probably fantasy book it. All I'm going to say is in the Royal Rumble, Women's Rumble 2021, your winner is Sasha Banks, the boss. Wins the 2021 Royal Rumble match. That gives her, she is on SmackDown. I have Sasha on SmackDown. But that gives her the choice of, does she want to go after the Raw Women's title or NXT or SmackDown? That her former friend, that in part 1, Bayley brutally attacked Sasha, put her head through a window, slammed her arm in the door of a car window, put her head through it, after they lost the tag titles at Hell in a Cell. I had Bayley attack Sasha. Watch my part 1 of what I fantasy booked. So Sasha Banks wins the Royal Rumble 2021. Now let's go to the SmackDown after the Royal Rumble 2021. Bayley, Sasha have a face-off. What is a face-off? Well, they just come out, face each other off, and get on the mic and talk to each other. But during this face-off on the SmackDown after the Rumble, during the face-off, Bayley throws a fireball in Sasha's face, burns her face. She's screaming in pain. Officials, EMTs get in the ring, put a towel over her face. And she really sells it like crazy. She is screaming, I'm burned, I'm burned. How could you do this to me, Bayley? Stuff like that. So that face-off segment where Bayley throws a fireball in Sasha's face, that would be the final segment, and SmackDown would go off the air. And what a bang to go off the air with. I think that'd be awesome. So now let's go to Elimination Chamber, which after Sasha's burned, let's say Elimination Chamber pay-per-view is like 3-4 weeks after that. So there's an Elimination Chamber matchup. Now, by the way, before the face-off where Bayley burned Sasha, Sasha announced on SmackDown after the Rumble. I did have her announce that she picks Bayley. She wants Bayley at WrestleMania for the SmackDown Women's title. But before we get to WrestleMania, we gotta have a Women's Elimination Chamber SmackDown Women's Title Championship match. Bayley is forced to defend before WrestleMania. So will Bayley retain and face Sasha, or will she not? Will it be a different woman? Here we go. The women's triple branded. I would make it a triple branded Elimination Chamber Women's SmackDown title match. Bayley defends against, from NXT, Shotzi Blackheart. SmackDown's Dakota Kai. She was drafted to SmackDown, or got signed by SmackDown in September as a free agent. So Bayley defends against Shotzi Blackheart, Dakota Kai, Io Shirai from NXT, because it's triple branded Elimination Chamber Women's title match. Also, a free agent just signed to SmackDown, Taya Valkyrie. I would have her. This is my show. I'm fantasy booking. I would like to see Taya Valkyrie in the WWE. I would love it. So, Io Shirai, Taya Valkyrie, Dakota Kai, Shotzi Blackheart, and the mystery sixth woman in the chamber. Elimination Chamber 2021. The sixth woman, nobody knows. It's a mystery. Ember Moon. Ember Moon returns. Still your winner. By the way, during the Women's Chamber Championship match, Sasha is returned after she's burned. You could have a couple bandages on her face to sell the burns. Sasha comes out before the chamber and is on commentary. 3-4 weeks after she's burned, she's back. Her face is healing. Yeah, I did say she had plastic surgery in part 1 because her head and face was put through a car window, but her burns are healing. That's why the tape's not covering totally her face. So Sasha Banks is on commentary during the Women's Elimination Chamber, but still, somehow, someway, Bayley pulls it out. Bayley wins and retains. Bayley is and still your SmackDown Women's Champion after the Women's Chamber. Bayley's going to WrestleMania as SmackDown Women's Champ to face her former best friend, the Boss, Sasha Banks. By the way, Sasha's a babyface here, and Bayley's still the heel. So now, before WrestleMania, we have a contract signing. Between the SmackDown right before WrestleMania, the final one. Contract signing between Bayley and Sasha for the SmackDown Women's title. Bayley attacks Sasha again. Attacks her with a chair. Puts a chair on her head. Outside the ring, slams a chair with her head in it against the ring post. So Sasha is injured, like her neck is injured. Is she going to make it to WrestleMania? Nobody knows. WrestleMania is in 2 days. 48 hours away after that SmackDown. So, we get to WrestleMania. Bayley defending the SmackDown Women's title, but will Sasha come out? Is her neck broken? Is it healed a little? Was she cleared? Sasha comes out with a small neck brace on, but she still wants to compete. She refuses to not make WrestleMania and not appear. She refuses. Some officials try to stop her to the ring, but she just pushes them away and ignores them because Sasha wants a piece of Bayley at WrestleMania. She won the Rumble. This is her opportunity. She's not going to let it just be canceled because her neck's injured. It's not broken, but her neck's injured. That's why I have a neck brace on her. during the match. And during the match, she even pulls it off and doesn't care and goes after Bayley. Your winner, WrestleMania 37, Bayley Sasha for the SmackDown Women's title. By the way, think about it. The roles are reversed. TakeOver Brooklyn, Bayley was a super over, super popular, super loved babyface. Sasha was a nasty, bad girl, boss, heel. God, why can't I say this word? Anyways, the revolt. What the fuck? I can't even think of the word. Anyways, they're reversed. Sasha's a babyface. The roles are reversed. That's what I was trying to fucking say. The roles are reversed. Bayley's a nasty heel that everybody at WrestleMania 37, every fan wants to see her get her fucking ass kicked for everything she's done against Sasha. Put her head through a window. Broke her hand in a car door. Sasha even had a cast on for that. Injured her neck right before WrestleMania and threw fire in her face after the Rumble. After she won the Women's Rumble, Bayley threw fire in her face. So Bayley has so much. I would have Bayley have so much fucking heat. Insane heat going into WrestleMania. And just Sasha, when she would pull it off the neck brace during the match, the crowd would have exploded. I can just see it in my head. I can imagine it. I got goosebumps thinking about it. Sasha Banks wins, is your new SmackDown Women's Champion. Now let's go to after WrestleMania 37, the next pay-per-view. Let's say it's let's say it's Backlash, the next pay-per-view after WrestleMania. Bayley, Sasha, one more time. I don't want the feud to fucking end. I'm talking about in real life. Once they break up, I would like to see them feud until 2022. I'm dead serious. That's how much I like these two women. But my fantasy booking part 2, this is the final part, it ends. Their feud will end at Backlash after WrestleMania 37, the next pay-per-view. Sasha defends a SmackDown Women's title against Bayley in a steel cage match. Now, Sasha has had very short title reigns. I don't think she's successfully defended her titles even once and retained. But at Backlash, after WrestleMania 37, Sasha defeats Bayley in the steel cage. It's an awesome cage match. It would be brutal, throwing their head against the cage and their backs against the cage. Or throwing themselves against cage. They would have a great cage match. I would love to see that in real life. Them have a Hell in a Cell or a cage match in like 2021. So there it is. Sasha Bayley in a cage match is the final chapter of my fantasy booking of the Bayley Sasha Banks breakup at Backlash right after WrestleMania. Cage match, Sasha defeats Bayley to retain the SmackDown Women's title. Hope you enjoyed this fantasy booking. Two parts, or whatever the hell I want to call it, series, I don't know what to call it. 2 parts of my fantasy booking of the Bayley Sasha breakup. I did this fantasy booking because I fucking love both women. And I'm going to love it when they break up and feud. I am so looking forward to see what WWE does in real life. What are they going to do? with their feud. What type of gimmick matches are they going to have? How is it going to end up? I can't wait to see it. Hope you enjoyed my fantasy booking of the Bayley Sasha breakup. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Bye for now, everybody.